Hey everybody, it's Rockula, and welcome back to Rockula Retrospective. It is Monday, October the 13th, and that means last night was the Season 5 premiere of The Walking Dead. And let me tell you something, it was a big ol' huge smash of a premiere episode. I think it's probably one of the most intense premiere episodes I've seen out of The Walking Dead so far. And so what we got now is I've got a new camera, thanks to my friend Laura, who lets me borrow this camera here. And I've got some new editing software, which means I'm going to be putting stuff up in little windows here, and I'm going to be playing around with the format. And I just wanted to say that I'm so excited about this new season, and this is a great show to start off with. By the way, I got to tell you, I'm cheating over here. I've got my laptop computer on a stand, and I can't even bring it into the shot, but here it is. Yeah, so I'm using that for notes, and I'd like to do this all in one take like usual, but I'm gonna probably not be able to, so I'm gonna cheat, and I may do more than one take on this. So let's dive right into the very first episode of season 5. We open up with I'm not really sure because it's dark, and I watch The Walking Dead on the internet, so that means that some of the dark scenes, I don't know what it looks like on TV, but for me, it's really hard to tell what's going on in the dark scenes. So I finally figure it out. They say Gareth's name and everything, but so I finally figure out the intro, and one of the things that I wanted to bring up is that I talk about how Sergeant Abraham Ford looks like Seamus, and I talk about how Dr. Eugene Porter looks like Bill Hicks, but I was trying to figure out, who does Gareth remind me of, and now I remember it is Michael Ian Black from all of those VH1 I Love the 90s and all that stuff. So I finally figured it out. So after we have a little bit of exposition there with pre-Terminus, we flash forward to our group that is stuck in the cattle car, and they are getting ready for a fight, but instead they get the gas. That's right. So they separate they separate 4 people from the group, and they end up at a slaughtering trough, and you got Rick, Glenn, and Daryl, and Bob, and what they're doing is they're slaughtering these people in front of them, and Rick recognizes one of them, and I have to figure out who that is, because I think it's somebody of significance from the show, because they seem to really recognize each other. And so they kill him, they kill a couple other people, and then we get into a point where it's almost like they're using the timing that you would use in a comic scene or even professional wrestling. This scene right here where they keep teasing you over and over with the swinging of the bat, and it's all either wrestling or comedy, which in some cases is both. By the way, excuse me if I keep sniffling. I'm having a hell of an allergy attack right now. That's why the peepus is all red and my face is all flushed looking. So back to this. So I guess it looked to me like Gareth was using the murdering of the other people in front of him as a little incentive once he starts probing about the weapons. He starts probing about the weapons, and then that's when the explosion happens, and we have the beginning of the show, which is, 5-10 minutes into the show. All right, so we have the intro, the segment, and then we cut to Carol and Tyrese. And we see that Tyrese is being the sensitive little bitch that he is sometimes. And Carol has to kill the walker for him. He picks up the baby and hands off the kill to Carol, and it might as well be a purse. So they come up on a guy that is what I guess in the credits he was credited as Terminus guard, but he is setting up some fireworks to distract the walkers from the gunfire that is happening at Terminus as they're rounding up our group from the end of the first episode. So they capture him, and I tell you what, this is when Carol really starts to show that she's going to ascend to badass walker stomper status. She leaves him with Tyrese and then smears a bunch of walker guts all over herself. And this is where we're getting into a prediction that I made at the end of the last season. If you click here, you'll get to go to that episode where I made the predictions. And what I said was that Carol was going to be part of the rescue of Terminus, in that she was going to either initiate a walker herd to head towards Terminus. It turns out that she didn't initiate it, but she allowed it to happen. So she didn't directly do it, but by capturing the Terminus guard, she made it possible for the herd to head towards Terminus. Then she smeared herself with zombie guts and infiltrated Terminus. So, man, this is going to be Carol's season if she doesn't get killed, because you never know. Oops, don't want to say that, because if I say that, Carol gets killed in the next episode. But here's where we come up on the first common sense moment of this episode, and that is when you capture somebody, you don't talk to them. You don't let them get information from you. You don't let them know who people's names are, who they are to you, all of that stuff. And you certainly don't just tie their hands together and hope that they'll sit peacefully on the ground. And of course, we find out later in the episode that comes back to bite them on the ass. But, so, here we go again. Carol blows up the propane tank, which provides the opportunity for Rick and the group to escape. And here we come with the walker moment of the night. And that is the burning walker eating the guy's face off. I mean, if that's indicative of the way this season is going to go, then the gore fans are going to love this season, because it looks like, just in the first episode, you've got really creative brutality, a burning walker chewing a guy's face off. So we got Rick and friends. They're fighting to get to the rest of the group in the boxcar. And we do see that the people at Terminus are indeed cannibals. And, there's meat hanging all over the place. So Rick starts to get it into his head that all of these people have to die. And it creates a little bit of a sticking point that is going to manifest itself a little bit. As they're escaping, Rick says that we got to go, and Glenn's like, hey, we got to rescue these people. So it's showing that, Rick isn't the clear-cut, always right member of this group, and it's going to come into play in a little bit here. So, meanwhile, Carol is infiltrating Terminus, and she finds Rick's watch and Daryl's crossbow, which means that she's on the right track. So she goes looking for them. She crosses through what I guess we'd call the sacrifice room, and we get to common sense moment number 2. And that is, Mary got the drop on Carol. Why didn't she just kill Carol? Why do they always have to resort to that same old cliche of, I want to kill you and look at your face, or I'm going to tie you up in this elaborate death and talk about my triumph while you, and then turn my back and you escape. So what does she do? She tells Carol to turn around, and Carol whips out the machine gun and, starts the fight, gets the drop on Mary. So what happens now is we get the backstory on Terminus through Mary. And they keep talking about the backstory of Terminus, so it must be something that's going to have influence on future plot lines. When Carol doesn't get the answers that she wants from Mary, she proves part number 2 of why she is new Carol Walker Stomper. Shoots Mary's knee out. Still doesn't get the information she wants, so she leaves Mary to get chomped down on. So Carol, this is not the Carol that we were introduced to. this is not even the Carol from the prison. This is the brand new Carol way up here in, Daryl and I dare say Rick and Daryl territory if she was as strong as them. But she's going to turn out to be probably one of the most valuable characters now. All right. Of course, now we go back. The Terminus guard takes advantage of Tyrese because Tyrese is just not there again and threatens to break Judith's neck. And then they have the exchange. He disarms the guard, and I just couldn't understand what they were saying. So if somebody can please explain to me what Tyrese was saying when he was saying, I won't, while he's beating the crap out of this guy. So if you can tell me in the comments, what's the context of that conversation? Plus, we see that Tyrese isn't timid Tyrese anymore because he beats the crap out of this guy. So he's back on track. So back again to Terminus, and we've got everybody escaping, and Rick gets everybody out of the cart, out of the cattle car. They head out, and they shoot at Gareth, and you see Gareth take a hit. It looks like he's taking a hit in the shoulder, maybe in the gut. I predict that Gareth does not die. I don't think he died because they didn't show him die. So I think he is going to escape Terminus and come into play a little bit later. And that's something where I need to also talk in a second about the season 5 sneak preview that happened a month or two before here. And by the way, click here and you'll see my reaction to the season 5 sneak preview. But let's just finish talking about this, and then I'll get to the sneak preview issues that I had. So they escape. Rick paints the no sanctuary sign for Terminus. They exit stage left, and then we have the more Terminus prehistory. And, 2 times in an episode, 2 or 3 times, I don't know, but that just means that something from Terminus, this ain't over from Terminus. There's some forces outside of Terminus or something that's happening that's making the people from Terminus be afraid of somebody. Maybe somebody has power over them. I don't know. But it's going to be a heavy influence on the plot line. So that's the end of the episode's credits. We see for the future, we got Reverend Gabriel Stokes that's going to be in here. General Walker Stomping and Mayhem. But then at the end of the credits, we see the lone figure go to the Terminus sign and unmask, and it is Morgan Jones. Unfortunately, he's not got a big old sack of weapons over his shoulder, so I'm not sure where Morgan Jones's weapons are, but he is definitely on the heels of our group, and we'll see what happens with that. So, here's my question. I don't know how many of you saw the sneak preview for season 5, but the one that I saw, and once again, click here again and you'll see it, see my review and my reaction to it. They had some stuff in the preview that wasn't in this episode. We had Gareth apologizing about hurting some of Rick's group, which didn't happen. And you saw, by the way, stop right here if you don't want to hear this, because this may be something in the future. But so this is a spoiler, not even just from this episode, but it might be a spoiler down the line. So, okay, here we go. Here's a spoiler. The other part of the preview has Gareth sitting face to face with Rick and the group, saying that he's going to help them get to DC. So what the hell is going on here? They put out a preview, and then that material's not even in the season opener, much less, we don't know what else is going to go on. So somebody please tell me what happened with that. I also heard stories that they leaked too much and they pulled it. I never really bothered to research that, but again, in the comments, tell me what happened if they yanked that preview trailer. Maybe I'll try to find it on YouTube and insert it into my next episode. So speaking of the next episode, what I'm going to do is a midweek review where I go into the magical interwebs and watch the videos of people that are reviewing The Walking Dead. I got a couple of people that I'm going with. First of all, throughout the year, I've been staying in contact with 2 dead girls, and I'm really looking forward to interacting with them. I like Mighty Sophia. I watched Trev's Chan and Emergency Awesome. Can somebody please tell me what happened to Tabitha Treadway's channel, because I can't find it. Did she delete it? If anybody knows what happened to Tabitha Treadway, let me know in the comments. So please comment, like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and stay tuned for the middle of the week Walking Dead review of the reviewers and predictions for the next episode. I'm Rockula, and this is Rockula Retrospective.